Yeah, it said it stops. Now it is. So whatever you did, don't undo it.
The amount of blips we'll get. Okay, so we're going to be doing our fun makeup workshop today, and we're going to all have the same little kit, but we are going to focus today specifically each class. I like to focus on an area that we can work on, and today's is wow brows. And so how to do our brows. Now, you may not have all the things to do that, but you can at least watch, and then we're going to still go through all the things that come in your kit, okay? So we're going to start with foundation. And what I love before doing foundation, I just got off of a skincare class. I just had moisturizer on. So I love that to be on before we do foundation. And then we're going to do our foundation primer. So this is going to be in a little square on the back, which I should have grabbed that, but on the back of your little makeup kit, go ahead and grab that while I grab one to walk through with you guys. And it's that little one right there. Okay, so you're going to grab that one. And this goes a little bit, goes a long way. So you don't need a ton. And we're just going to take this and squeeze some out like this much. And we're going to do a nice little coat all over the face, the forehead. This is going to help really contain excess oil. It's going to make your foundation go on super smooth and not settle into the pores or fine lines. It also has an SPF 15 in there. And I always tell people, if we're going to take the time to put foundation on, we might as well keep it on all day, right? So we're going to do some stuff to keep it stay. The next thing I want to show you, this you don't have a sample of. So if there's some things that I start to show you that you don't have samples of and you're like, I love that, just get a little pin out and let's just make notes, or you can put it even in the chat so you don't forget things that you like. And so I'm going to show you this under eye corrector. And this is great if you ever feel like you're just looking a little puffy, a little tired. It is a peachy tone. It only comes in one color, and it is meant to help with dark circles. So I'm going to just blend out one right here and just show you how instantly this will just lift and correct that eye area, and just like boom, this is like a little eye lift right away. So the difference of this and a concealer is a concealer that we have would be for this fun little hormonal gift that I'm getting right now. And for that little hormonal gift, it is going to come in 6 different shades, and it's going to be according to our skin tone, where this one is a peachy tone meant to counteract dark circles no matter the color. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and you put that on. I'm just going to put a little bit just to, it still covers it up. So see, we just said goodbye. We don't need you there. Now we're going to go and get that foundation. And we did put a little sponge in your kit, so you can use that sponge. But okay, take a note of this. The liquid foundation brush will be your best friend. It will put on your foundation so flawless and like an airbrush. If you have like a favorite kitchen tool, or you like to draw and you have like a favorite like pencil, like tools make all the difference sometimes. And so you're going to see how flawless this puts it on. I've had this brush, you guys, for like 10 years. And it's still in amazing condition, and it's only 14 bucks. So we're going to take your foundation. You can use your sponge for now. You can use your fingers for now, or if you have your own brush or something, you can use that. I don't know why. This is just something I've always done. I put my foundation on my hand like a little palette and I pull from it. I'm going to put a little bit on my brush, and notice with what you're doing, I'm dispersing it first. So we're just going to get it all over. And then I'm going to go in here with my liquid foundation brush or your sponge, and we're going to stipple, and we're going to press it into your skin. Not swiping necessarily. I will swipe later. Swiping is blending. This is getting the product really on and in there and smooth. And then once we have that, where it's like kind of blended itself out, then I will finish with these little light strokes, finishing in the direction that my hair grows. And then with barely any on the brush, I'm going to do a little bit down my jawline. If your foundation has to go any further than this, it is not the right color. We should be able to see this flawless piece right here of going down into your neck. So we're going to just, I'm going to go to the other side. And we're just going to get that all over. I like to get it on the lids too, your eyelids, because those tend to get a little veiny or purpley. And so we just want to make that all look even It also will help act a little bit as a primer for your eyeshadow. And we're just gonna blend that all out right there. The sun is going down, not going down, but it's coming in through different parts of my window right now. Okay, so once we have that all on, you might have your own powder, like a setting powder. You are more than welcome to use it since we can't send ours in samples, or you might just stop there and watch what I do. We do have 3 different kinds of powders. We do have a pressed powder. I don't know why I left that in the other room, but we have also a translucent powder. So a translucent powder, it's clear. It's great for any skin tone. It's really lightweight. It's not going to give extra coverage, but it is going to help control any shine. So let me show you. I'll do one on each side just so you can see. I just take a little bit from the lid right here. I'm putting it on a big powder brush. And see how you can just kind of see a little bit of that shimmer or like shine or sheen? When I go in with this translucent, it just mattifies all of that, but it doesn't feel cakey. It still feels like my skin and just is taking away. So that way we have that nice flat finish with that. Okay. Now we also have a silky setting powder. So if you're like, Brie, I want a little extra coverage, then you might like one that has a color to it. Now, this is where having the foundation match that we just did is so important, because once we know that, then we know your color in here. Still extremely lightweight, but will add a little bit more coverage if we need to, or could be used on its own. And a little bit hydrating, which is kind of nice if you're more on the dry side. So they both look pretty similar. This one just gives a little bit more color. You can tell this one is just exactly like my skin, and we can set any way you want. Okay, so once we have that, I will mention this too, if it's on here. I have it on my desk. Hold on. Is it hiding? Well, apparently I've been traveling with it, because our finishing spray I've been using for everything just to kind of set it, and it's a refresher during the day. So that's an option to set your foundation. So now that we have our foundation on, I'm going to do some brows. So this is where you might have a brow pencil. You might have some eyeshadow and a brow brush. You might just have anything you have you can follow along with, or you can just watch and you can learn, and you'll be able to have this playback later. So if you're like, oh my gosh, she's going to show us some brow dills at the end so I can get some stuff to do my brows. But you guys, brows shapes your eyes. And so many women are afraid to color in their brows because they haven't been taught properly how to put them on, or I don't know, we see crazy stuff, right? We see them really thick and big, or we see them too little, or we see them the wrong color, but it is really truly what is going to bring your eye color and your eyeshadow to life. So let's talk about placement of where we want it to go according to your face shape. So we would use this as an anchor right here, the inner corner of your nose. So if we're using this as our guide, and then you go straight up with something, that is where right here, your eyebrow would want to start. So if you have a little pin, or not pin, but a brow pencil or something like that, like this, you could put a little mark if that's not where it starts, just to be like, that is where my brow should start. And if you've ever been like, this girl isn't waxing them right, they should be following this same thing. Like, my brow should start here. Okay. Then where do we want our arch? Still, we're going to use this as a guide, and we're going to look at the iris inside right here, the black part, and we're going to put that right over that, and that is where our arch should go, right there. Okay, so right in there is where my arch should be. And then this part, the outer corner of my eye, still using my nose as a guide. If I held that right there, that is where my brow should end. Do you see how mine kind of ends about right here? I'm needing to do it to about here. And that would fully be perfect of what is going to my brow needs to bring out my eye. So I'm going to do one. Okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is, I love this little, Jesse and I were just in Dallas together, and we both looked at each other at one point in the mirror and said, do you have the spoolie brush? and neither of us did. And this is a spoolie brush, and I got to tell you how happy I was to go open one because I don't know why I didn't have one or couldn't find it. So I love this, that first, before I go in, it may not seem important, but we're just going to go and brush those brows out and up. Mine are really, really light, so you might not even see them, but we're just going to brush them and we're going to get them in place. Then I'm going to go from where I started to where my arch is, and I'm going to create a solid line. Now, what I'm using right now, and I'm going to show you 2 different colors that I happen to have next to me, is we have 5 different colors of brow pencils. This is brunette. This is dark brunette. This is a little bit warmer. This is a little bit more cooler. We have it also in 3 other colors. We have it in dark blonde, blonde, or black brown. So I'm going to use this brunette, and I'm going to go in here where my brow should start, and I'm going to create a line at the bottom of where it should be. And I'm going to stop about where that arch should be. And here's why. And I don't normally explain this much on this, but this is the brow class. If we go in one fell swoop, sometimes we'll take that beautiful curve out of the arch. If I were to go, like we almost can cut it off. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to do this motion with my hand to get that really nice curve in there, like this. And I'm going to end my brow right there. So see how that isn't just like a harsh line, like I'm really allowing this to follow my natural curve. Then we're going to create the top. So I go in about 3/4 of the way, about right here. So I'm not messing with this front part right now. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a little line about to where that arch would be. I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create this curve, and I'm going to match it down to where my brow should be. And you're probably like, well, that looks wild. And this is where women get scared and we stop because it looks wild right here, okay? But here's the next pieces. Towards the front, I want to do little flicks of hair. Your hair might grow more at an angle. It might be more curved. Mine happens to go straight up. So follow the natural parts of your hair. And I'm just going to do these natural little hairs moving up. Do you see all those little lines? Instead of just coloring it in or making it a box. I'm going to continue to do those where I'm just kind of matching the direction of my hair growth all the way down into here. I'm not fully filling it because I'm going to fill the rest with our brow tint. That is going to look more hair-like, but now at least we have a brow versus that. So we're getting some structure. If you're ever like, I went too hard in the front, it looks too boxy, we're just going to take this spoolie and we're just going to blend her out a little bit, and we can blend it together right after and just soften it up a bit right away. You can mix colors, right? I just dyed my hair darker. And so lately I'm like, I don't want to be all the way to dark brunette, but for this one is a little too light. So I go in a little bit and I just add some flecks of this dark brunette, and I'm just giving a little bit of dimension. See how that just darkened it up a little bit? So you can mix and match. Then we have brow tint. I love this. I think it's underestimated of how to use it. It comes in 4 shades, blonde, dark blonde, brunette, dark brunette. I am using the brunette. Let me show you how tiny this brush is in comparison to a mascara brush. Here is a mascara brush. Here's the one for the brows. It's a big difference, okay? She's tiny lady. So that's good for our brows. We don't want it super big. Now with this, if you ever get this, it's important that when I get the product out, I kind of take off any excess. And I'm really just wanting only the product that's on the brush. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab my hairs with this. And this is going to volumize them, put them in place, give me a little bit more definition. But since I have lighter actual hair color in there, it's going to look like my natural hairs versus just coloring them in and looking like, that's what people don't want, right? You don't want it to be like, I took a Sharpie to them. That's what we're all afraid of. Now, I'm going to show you this side with just brow tint to show you how quick and easy, if you're like, I'm running out the door, I already have a beautiful brow shape. I was blessed with those brows that I just got to get them waxed and they're great. I'm so happy for you because I only don't tan, but I had to like get mine microbladed on because I was not gifted with that. Okay. So if you see though, with just so you can really see what this brow tint does, if you're only using this and we're running out the door, we can still really create a really nice brow with just the brow tint. Isn't that nice to just like go through really quick and we can still grab it? So this is a little bit more precision, but we can still get a lot going with just this. Now, if you're scared of the tint, you're like, I don't know if I'm committed to the tint. We do have clear. So I had one of those women at my house the other day who was blessed with so much beautiful hair, the long hair. You know me, I'm putting extensions in. She doesn't need that. So of course she has the eyebrows. So I just took this through and we just like put them in place with the clear and they looked gorgeous just as is. So sometimes even that is enough. I don't know if I'm on the train yet where we're just brushing them up, you know, that train where all of them are up. If you guys are on the train, I'm okay with the train, but that trend right now of where they just are like kind of like caterpillars, like they're just all wild. I haven't gotten there yet. I don't know. Okay. But you could do that with this if you wanted to. So I just want to give you options. Okay. So we have that. You could also take this brush, you guys, and you could use a matte colored eyeshadow and you could fill it in with that too, with this angle brush. So that is another option that you could do there. And if that is the case, it will help match your eyeshadow to it. So the main thing is getting that shape in the right placement and either doing a tint or a pencil, or you can mix both. All right, let's go into the eyeshadow now that you guys have. And I'm going to be working out of this Perfect palette. So you'll see me working out of this today. And I love it because it's magnetic. And this has the three, well, you have four, but the three main eyeshadows we're going to be using today and the blush. And I want you just to see how fun these come out. So easy. I have to do it down here because sometimes I flick these at the camera. Okay, so that just came out and then look, it just pops in. So they're completely magnetic. So as you run out of things, so they're all this size square. So this could be two, like a blush or a contour and a highlight. It could be 6 eyeshadows. Sky's the limit, whatever you want to do. So we're going to go ahead and you have some sponge tip applicators in there. So you can use those. Or if you have a brush, let's get those brushes out. And if you're not sure which one to use, I'm going to help you. And I'm going to be using the holy grail of our brushes. This is our blending brush. So if you are using a brush, use maybe something like this. It's kind of fluffy. Okay. And the color that we're going to dip into first, if we're looking at this, is the golden mauve. The golden mauve. This is a really fun color. Like it's understated and I just started using it and it really can fluctuate and looks beautiful on all skin tones. So if you're using the fluffy brush, we're going to go directly into that color like this, making sure that the product is on the end of that brush. And we're going to create a crease with this. So where's the crease going to go? It's going to go in this area. So like wherever you feel that bone, okay, going into the outside of your lid to your lash line. And then we're looking to create this crease over here. So not in the lid, in here. Now, if you have more of a hooded eye like me, meaning when you open your eyes, we lose the whole lid. We're going to stop that crease about here, about 2/3 of the way in, leaving this really open and bright. So let me show you with one, and then you guys can go ahead and try. So you're going to notice I'm pressing. Even if you have that sponge tip applicator, you can be smudging it in there. And I'm just pressing right now to go, okay, about how high do I want this crease? And then going right down into my lash line. And then once we have that height, then I'm going to come over and I'm going to lift and I'm going to help go over here of how far do I want it to come in. And I'm going to pack on that color before we do any blending. So that means press, press, press. And then if we need to start blending, like I want to add a little bit more color before I blend. I'm getting wild color from this window over here, but once we have it in place, this is the key. Take your brush or take another side of the sponge tip applicator clean it off or just use a clean side. If you're using a brush, just take like a washcloth or take like a paper towel, clean it off, then go in the outside, and now we can do the swirlies and we can blend. If we blend while a bunch of product is still on there, we will just spread it and we will create mud. So that is the key. It's just to be cleaning in between blending and packing on the product. So once you feel like you have it blended to the way you want it, I just like to blend a little bit of the outsides just so it's just not a harsh line and it just kind of makes it a little bit soft in there. Then we're going to go and do the other side right away. So we can, well, you know, the eyes, they're not even sisters. They're not twins. There may be a distant cousin, okay? So just leave her alone and just do her best. So we're just gonna put it all in here on our other eye. And again, we can match your colors. So like if you're like, Brie, these are fine, but like, I don't know if these are my colors. We actually have this really cool thing that we can ask you a couple questions. Find out what season you would be for your, like, have you ever seen when they do the drapes on social media of like different colors and they're like, you would be a spring or you would be a summer. We can do that with makeup to see what you would look best in. And we have little worksheets that tell you all your colors. So have no fear. Today's about application. We will worry about your colors in a second. All right. Once we have your crease on there, we're going to do a little trick. And we're going to stay in that golden mauve for a second. And I'm going to show you two options you can do this. So if you're doing your sponge tip applicator, I think I need it. I'm just like, don't feel like I have enough light, but it's okay. You're going to take the side. So not straight on the side of it. And you're going to get the side like that in the product of the golden mauve. If you have a little brush like this, a little smudger, okay, a little tiny smudger, I'm going to use that. And I'm going to go under in my lash line with that golden mauve. I always do this with whatever crease color I'm doing. It's going to bring your look together and not make us look top heavy. We're going to get as tight as we can to that lash line. So we're not trying to do a crazy smoky eye. We're just trying to give a little depth underneath. That's all, a little bit of depth. Okay. And so it just kind of gives a little oomph under there. Okay. So we have that. Then if we wanted to, but we do not have to, deepen it. So tonight we won't. You could go in with your Cinnabar and you could go a little bit just in this outer corner and you could give it a little va-va-voom. Like you could take this look that we're doing from day to night real fast. And if I were doing that Cinnabar and I was bringing it under, I would only bring it about a quarter of the way in, unless I'm going crazy at nighttime and I want a full smoky eye, then I'll bring her all the way in. But if you have an almond eye, like me, don't do that because you'll close it down. So when we keep that darkness just on this outer edge, you know what it's doing? It's like opening. When we go all the way, it closes it down. Does that make sense? So we want to just be careful with how we do that. So let's go ahead. We're going to dip into Candlelight. Candlelight's gorgeous. If you guys could get away with Moonstone and Candlelight and have a party and just not even need any other colors, okay? So Candlelight, if you have if you're using your sponge tip, that's great. We're going to use the flat side of it, the big flat side, or you are looking for an all over eyeshadow brush like this, like one that is just flat. All right. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to press it into my Candlelight. I'm going to show you how I'm really getting the product all over one side here evenly like this. I'm wanting it like that. So you're either putting it like that on your sponge tip or your brush. And then I'm going to take onto my lid anywhere I didn't put that golden mauve, and I'm going to press it into my lid and my inner corner right here. And it's just going to really brighten up and be beautiful. And we're going to do it on the other lid as well, but we're going to reapply product before we do that. And if you notice, I'm not swiping, I'm pressing it into here. So I'm really dispersing the product. Now the sponge tip may not do the exact same thing. That's okay. That's why you can get some fun brushes. And we're just going to get that all over the lid. So again, if you do have a hooded eye, you're really wanting to keep that lid bright. If you don't have a hooded eye, you don't have really rules. So congratulations, you get to kind of do what you want. Okay, then we're going to clean off that all over eyeshadow brush, and we're going to switch to a different side of the sponge tip. And we're going to go into this Moonstone. Oh, Moonstone's such a great highlighter. It's like, hey, I'm about to wake you up. Like, look how awake you're about to look. So I like to put it right in this inner corner, right in here, like almost in that indent where my inner corner is, not on my nose. And then I'm going to pull some of it like a little quarter of the way into that inner corner. I mean, I'm gonna even put a little bit more. I just want you to see, like, look at how just that little light of highlight opens up this eye versus not having it on this one. It's like, hey, I'm awake, I had a cup of coffee. Like, boom, that's all you got to do in the morning. Okay, so go ahead, do it on the other side. Now, if you're like, Bria, I do not like shimmer, it's okay. We have this in a matte color, so you could do it no shimmer if you do not want the shimmer. That would be called biscotti. We're going to do one more thing with this color. We're going to put the product just on the very little tip of your sponge tip or your brush, just up there. See, I'm just kind of gathering it up to the top part so I can control where it is. And I'm just going to go a little bit. See how I just gave that nice little highlight right under just the arch of my brow. Just right there. My son's coming in for a charger. Okay, and then we're gonna do right here, the other arch of our brow. Okay, boom. So what does highlight do like that? Whether you want shimmer or not, if you're doing a brighter color, light pulls things up. So this is making our eyes look more open. It's pulling our eyebrows up, okay? We could also use this as a highlighter, the Candlelight or the Moonstone. You could just put a little dusting of it on your Cupid's bow right here, just a really light dusting. I just kind of go over right there and a little bit of those things right there. That's going to pull our lip up when we do our lip gloss. And it's going to make our lips look a little bit bigger. If you want, be careful, especially if you're really light skinned. You could take a teeny bit. I'm going to use this contour color, which is a couple shades lighter, but of that Cinnabar, if you just take the littlest baby bit, you could go right under here like that, just right where it indents. Make sure you blend this out though. If you use that Cinnabar, because we're all kind of very fair on here, you could just take something and just kind of blend it out, but that just brings your lip down. Boom, gives like a little bit of a pout. So that's like a little trick you can do with that, okay? So then we do not, for some reason, have samples of mascara anymore. So go ahead and grab your own personal mascara. I'm going to pull up some photos of our mascara just so you can see some of the options that we have. I'm going to be doing, oh, I do not want to do that. Okay. I almost exited out of the Zoom, so that's really good. I didn't do that. I'm going to be doing our black brown mascara on my bottom lashes because I have brunette lashes on, but I actually have a whole little mascara folder for us to look at. So I'm going to show you guys some options here, and I'll go through that, and you can kind of mark down and be like, ooh, I think I like that one. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So this is our Lash Intensity mascara. And this is without, and this is with. This has 4 different sides to the brush to give you Va Va Voom lashes. This is our Fanorama. She's shaped like a little, like a bodycon shape. Like she's got hips and stuff. Like she's really cute and flirty, and she has something to help fan out and separate the lashes. So that's great. This is also Fanorama. Now, obviously she layered and layered, so you can make this look however, because this is the same mascara. Okay. This is too. It can look really natural, but really just fan out those lashes and make them look long. This is Lash Intensity as well. So just really giving those just great, great lashes. So this just kind of tells us, like, what are we looking at? Do we want Va Va Voom expanded? Do we want them fanned out? Do we want definition? Do we want volume? What is that looking like? And then this is actually a friend of ours. We were just with her in Dallas. She is doing the ultimate mascara on here. And that's what I'm going to be using on my bottom lashes. So lots of choices. They're ophthalmologist approved, really, really gentle for the eyes. And I'm just going to go in and put a little bit here. But if you have your mascara, so you can complete your at least eye look, go ahead and put your mascara on. I'm just putting a little bit on the bottom right here. We do, of course, have eyeliners that are waterproof and all that fun stuff. If you're an eyeliner gal, that we can work on that. And then we'll do blush. Let's do some blush. I normally do a whole contour, but I'll stick with blush with you guys for today. And we're going to use Shy Blush. Shy Blush is one of my favorite colors because it looks beautiful on everyone. And it's this just, I even opened a new one because I didn't even want to show you one. Mine is so used. She's ugly. So I had to get a new one out. So look how pretty. So it's like this pinky peachy color. And here's where we're going to put our blush. Yours is right here. It's the very end, your blush. And we're going to smile and we're going to use the arch of our brow and that right there, that little apple of our cheek. We're just going to go in and apply the blush right in there on that cheekbone. And I'm going to go in and apply even more. Now, if you don't have a blush brush, you could use a cotton ball. You could use your fingers for right now. You could use the other side of the sponge that you put your foundation on with. I do highly recommend a blush brush. You could use a powder brush too, like a big fluffy powder brush if you have one, and just squeeze it, giving you options. But see how this just immediately gives some life to the face. It's really subtle. It's really easy. It's really great for everyone who happens to be on 2 of our skin tone color. I am literally right in between Riley and Lily. Riley is an Ivory N160. I'm an Ivory N140. And then you are right below us, Lily, but just in the cool undertone. So we're all basically very similar, just a little bit off with undertones or a shade here or there. So this is a really, really nice color. So we're just going to get that in those cheeks. It's just going to give some life. Now, if you're ever like, oh, I put too much, you're just going to get a powder brush that is clean, and you'll just gently go in and you would just blend out afterwards if you needed to tone it down a teeny bit. Okay, so there's that. And then we get to try my favorite lip gloss. Ooh, so excited about this. Unique Mauve. All right, so she's right here. Rip her off. The back of it has a side that will come up, a little corner, like a pill thing. You're just going to peel that foil right on off. I saw those muscles, Lily. Then I'm seeing the face. I'm seeing all what actually happens to pull that off. So we're going to put this on. I'm just going to get a little bit of the foundation off my lips, but this is so creamy. Now you should have a little applicator, that little white one. Yes, use that to put your gloss on. And we're just gonna, it is just so pretty on everyone. It's creamy. This does come in 16 different shades or something wild like that. But this is just a universal. I used to do makeup for weddings. This was the color that I'm like, let me put this on you right before you go down the aisle. This was always that. So once we have the gloss on, we have our look on. So we're going to just go through some of our faves. We're going to go through a little fun set sheet, and then we'll break off with your consultant so she can kind of connect with you. I'm just looking to make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. All right. So let me pull this up here. So for you, let's start with you, Riley. For your makeup, tell me what was your favorite thing you tried today, and what was your favorite thing you learned today?
Well,